Good evening from San Ignacio. I am Patrick Jones with the 9 o'clock news. The people of Cayon North today went to the polls to elect a new area representative to replace Joseph Mahmoud, who resigned abruptly last year. Omar Figueroa from the United Democratic Party and Richard Harrison for the People's United Party contested today's by-election. There were two polling stations. In Bulletree Falls Village, voters went to the Immaculate Conception Primary School to cast their ballots at polling station number 75. In San Ignacio Town, polling station number 73 was at the Sacred Heart Primary School. Voter turnout was low, falling well below the expected 60%. The weather might have had an impact on the voter turnout as it started to rain from early today. An hour before the close of the polls this evening, 3,523 persons had voted, representing about 53% of the total registered voters in Cayon North, which according to the Election and Boundaries Department is 6,598. The polls have now closed and the counting is taking place at the Center for Employment Training Compound in San Ignacio Town. The leaders of both political parties, Prime Minister Dean Barrow for the UDP and Francis Fonseca for the opposition PUP, along with other senior members of the respective parties, were on the ground in the division today, rallying support for their respective candidates. Cane farmers voted overwhelmingly on Sunday to reject the proposed commercial agreement negotiated between BSI ASR and the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association, the BSCFA. The vote was taken at a 4-hour-long special general membership meeting in San Roman Village, Corozal yesterday. The purpose of the special general meeting was for the farmers to get a full explanation of the proposed agreement and how they stand to benefit from it. But they were taken aback when, during his presentation, the attorney for the cane farmers, Christopher Koyi, announced that it was his belief that the proposed agreement contains more benefits and should be signed by the BSCFA. Koyi explained that the proposed new agreement does not take anything in any way from the farmers, but provides more to the farmers than what the old agreement provided. The farmers were not convinced, and when the matter was put to a vote, the majority said no. In rejecting the proposed commercial agreement, the cane farmers also passed resolution to reconvene the negotiating team and for them to join cane farmer Lucilo Tech in his application to the Supreme Court for a writ of mandamus forcing the Sugarcane Control Board to set a date for the start of the crop season. Attorney at law Audrey Matura Shepherd was allowed to address the cane farmers, and she used the opportunity to explain what legal options are available to them, including the avenue being pursued by Tech. The special general meeting also passed a motion for the disbursement of $4 million in fair trade funds to cane farmers. There are reports of a traffic mishap near the agriculture showgrounds in Belmopan. It happened early this afternoon on the Hummingbird Highway and involved two vehicles that collided. At least two persons traveling in an SUV were hurt, but the injuries do not appear to be life-threatening. Police have not yet released information on this afternoon's traffic accident. And we'll be right back with more stories on the 9 o'clock news.
We all have our bucket list and plan to start fulfilling them someday.
Anytime now. Don't worry, babe. You can do it.
Go, Mom! You can do this!
Why not turn someday into today with an easy credit personal loan? Atlantic Bank can make it happen. We offer loans at competitive interest rates with low monthly payments for all your financing needs, because life should be easy.
How was it, Mom? It was good.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
When I exercise, I do only the most rigorous and complex techniques to challenge my body and keep it at its best. When I am building my body strength, I go for the heavy weights to keep my muscles challenged. When I prepare my meals, I make sure everything is fresh and tap into all my food groups. When I need internet service, I use Smart Zoom service to ensure reliability and speed. I am Rigo Veos, two-time Mr. Belize. I use only the best. I choose smart, and so should you.
Somebody say, live the life. Live the life. Somebody say, live the life. Somebody say, live the life. Live the life. Live the life.
You're watching the 9 o'clock news. A quick reminder of the headlines now. Cayo North voters went to the polls today to choose a new area representative. Cane farmers reject a new proposed commercial agreement from BSI ASR, and a policeman is arrested and charged for extortion. The new year is off to a bloody start with almost as many murders already recorded as there are days in 2015. 4 people have been killed so far and another is on life support. The latest homicide happened early this morning in Belize City. Preliminary police reports are that Marvin Underwood was gunned down near Rogers Stadium in the Pound Yard area of Belize City. He was shot to the head. Police say Underwood's body was transported to the morgue at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital, where it now awaits a post-mortem examination. In Belmopan, a 19-year-old man was the victim of gun violence. Kevin Vasquez, a Honduran national, was shot multiple times to the head, chest, and upper part of the left leg. The shooting happened around 6:30 on Sunday night on Costa Rica Street Extension in the Salvapan area of Belmopan. Police reports are that Vasquez, who is a welder by trade, was involved in a struggle with a 31-year-old man outside of his yard. Police say that it was during that struggle that Vasquez was fatally wounded. Police say they have detained a 31-year-old man as well as a 19-year-old man, both from Belmopan, as their investigations continue. The weekend's other murder victim is Belize City resident 28-year-old Karim Lopez, who was shot and killed on Saturday night. According to reports, Lopez, also known as Robbery, was approached by a group of men and fatally shot around 10:20 on Saturday night near a fast food establishment on Central American Boulevard. Information received indicates that over a dozen shots were fired at Lopez, 7 of which found their mark, including to the head, back, and right hand. Lopez was reportedly shot as he exited his car. His body now lies at the morgue at the KHMH, where it awaits a post-mortem examination. And the murder count tonight could easily have been 5, as a Belize City man is on life support following an early morning shooting incident on Sunday. The victim has been identified as 25-year-old Benoit Andrews, who was shot to the right side of the face. Police say that they received reports around 12:45 a.m. on Sunday of a man on the ground at the corner of Fern Lane and Flamboyant Street. When police got there, they found Andrews lying face down and bleeding. They transported him to the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital for treatment, and authorities say he remains on life support and in a critical condition. Police investigations continue. The 9 o'clock news on the National Channel.
We all have our bucket list and plan to start fulfilling them someday.
Anytime now. Don't worry, babe. You can do it.
Go, Mom, you can do this!
Why not turn someday into today with an easy credit personal loan? Atlantic Bank can make it happen. We offer loans at competitive interest rates with low monthly payments for all your financing needs. Because life should be easy.
How was it, Mom? It was good.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
When I exercise, I do only the most rigorous and complex techniques to challenge my body and keep it at its best. When I am building my body strength, I go for the heavy weights to keep my muscles challenged. When I prepare my meals, I make sure everything is fresh and tap into all my food groups. When I need internet service, I use Smart Zoom service to ensure reliability and speed. I am Rigo Veos, two-time Mr. Belize. I use only the best. I choose smart, and so should you.
Somebody say, live the life. Live the life. Somebody say, live the life. Somebody say, live the life. Live the life. Live the life.
A policeman tonight finds himself on the other side of the law. PC Bernard Villanueva, the officer in charge of the Bella Vista substation, was arrested and charged after he was allegedly caught extorting money from a resident under his jurisdiction. The official police report says that the husband of a villager had been detained at the Bella Vista police station and that PC Villanueva demanded money to secure his release from police custody. The woman went to the authorities at the Intermediate Southern Formation in Independence Village to complain about the extortion attempt. Police say that they carried out surveillance on the Bella Vista police substation and at around 9:30 p.m. on the night of Friday, January 2nd, observed when something was handed to PC Villanueva by a man. That was when officers from the Intermediate Southern Formation moved in and reportedly saw when PC Villanueva threw something on the ground. That object, according to police, was retrieved and found to be $200 in cash, which had been previously marked and photographed as part of an apparent sting operation. PC Villanueva was formally arrested and charged for the crime of extortion on Saturday. A dangerous firearm was taken off the streets of Belize City, and the persons alleged to be in possession of it are likewise in remand. 25-year-old Curland Phillips and 18-year-old Tevin Palmer pleaded not guilty to charges of keeping a prohibited firearm, being a .357 revolver, and keeping prohibited ammunition, being 6 rounds of .38 ammunition. Around midnight on January 3rd, police on mobile patrol on Bannock Street saw a gold-painted 4-door Nissan Altima vehicle with men matching the description of the defendants inside. The car was traveling towards Central American Boulevard. Police suspected criminal activity and attempted to stop the vehicle at the junction of the boulevard, but it turned right and sped toward Vernon Street. Police pursued and saw a black object being thrown from the vehicle. They caught up with the vehicle at the corner with Rasta Street and apprehended the accused and retrieved a firearm with 6 bullets in the chamber. Phillips and Palmer are remanded into custody until their next court appearance on March 5th. Just before the Christmas holiday, it was reported that the magistrate's court had spared an individual who claims he did not know he was smuggling marijuana into the central prison at the Hattieville in the bottom of a deodorant. There was no such mercy today for 18-year-old Raheem Miles, whose admittedly ingenious scheme to smuggling cannabis into the prison was defeated. On Friday, January 2nd, Miles visited the prison with 3 apples. They were cut open and a total of 46 grams of cannabis was found inside the core. One of the apples carried 10 parcels amounting to 16 grams. The second had 8 parcels containing 12 grams, and the last had 13 parcels for a total of 18 grams. As it turns out, the sticker on each apple was removed and a hole was made into which the cannabis was slipped, after which the sticker was placed back to cover the hole. That was the giveaway, and Miles will spend 6 months in prison after pleading guilty to possession of a controlled drug. He had expected a fine, but Senior Magistrate Sharon Fraser said she had decided he would be better off sent to the place where he tried to smuggle the weed to join whoever it is that he was taking it for. Turning now to weather news, it was a rainy day here in Kaya for most of the day. That is because a relatively moist northeasterly airflow is currently influencing our weather. The general forecast for Belize and her coastal waters is for mostly cloudy skies. A few showers will continue to affect the country tonight and the southern part of the country on Tuesday. Winds over the open sea and along the coast will be northeasterly at 10 to 20 knots with occasional higher gusts. The sea state will be moderate to rough. Operators of small craft should exercise caution in rough seas. Low temperatures tonight will be around 73 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 69 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and a cool 64 degrees Fahrenheit up in the hills. High temperatures tomorrow will range from 82 degrees Fahrenheit along coastal areas to 86 degrees Fahrenheit inland. It will be a comfortable 73 degrees Fahrenheit up at the exposed areas of the mountain Pine Ridge and along the Maya Mountains in the south. The tides. There will be a high tide at 10:03 tonight. This will be followed by a low tide at 5:07 a.m. on Tuesday. The sun will rise at 6:25 a.m. on Tuesday. It will set at 5:33 tomorrow evening. The extended forecast, valid through to Wednesday afternoon, is for cloudy spells with some showers mostly over southern and some coastal areas of the country. And that is a look at the weather with information provided by forecaster Francisca Wellington at the Belize Weather Bureau. To end the news, a reminder of the main stories again. The Kaya North voters today chose a new era representative. A policeman is arrested and charged for the crime of extortion. And authorities recover a prohibited firearm and arrest 2 persons. And that's the news this Monday. Our news lines remain open at all times via text and email. And you can visit our website for continuing coverage of the happenings around the country. I am Patrick Jones. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.